What about my favorite movies of 2019? Quick clarification, these are movies that I saw in 2019, not movies that came out in 2019, because I did not see many of those. And we only have 4 on the list for this year. Number 4 is Elephant Man. This is one of the most depressing, dark, heartbreaking, and moving movies that I have ever seen. It legitimately brought me to tears, and not just a single tear. It was bordering on ugly crying. It was absolutely pathetic. If you saw video of me watching this movie, you'd be like, I'm not watching this guy ever again. What a loser. The performances, the direction, the set design, everything in this movie is firing on all cylinders. There's nothing bad about it. And that's why it's in my top movies of 2019, or my favorite films of 2019. If you have not seen it, set aside a weekend so you can watch it on Friday and then recover emotionally on Saturday and Sunday. Number 3 is Videodrome. This is a Cronenberg film, and it's as weird as a Cronenberg film you would expect one to be. It has very weird effects with televisions and VHS cassettes throbbing and all of that. But the reason that I love it is commenting on society's need for more and more extreme forms of entertainment, where one day it may be okay to watch a Western movie. Then the next day you want to see a Western movie where people get killed. Then the next day you want to see the actual deaths. Then the next day you want to see the cowboy do certain things with certain people. It is just commenting on that constant escalation that we have. If you watch a movie from 2019, a horror movie, and then go watch a 1950s horror movie, it becomes abundantly clear what he is trying to say with this movie. It is going from a ghost looking like somebody with white face paint on to a ghost looking like somebody who had been decapitated and murdered in the most violent way. And they add all of these effects to make it as horrifying and startling as possible. And it could potentially be a detriment to society as a whole with how extreme everything is getting. The accessibility of extreme pornography, all of that stuff. And Cronenberg did it in the 80s. It is as relevant today, if not more, than it was in the 80s. And that is why that is one of my favorites of 2019. Next up, we have another really weird one. Number 2 is Eraserhead. This is the second David Lynch movie on this list this year. What a legend. Good job, David Lynch. You done well. The reason I loved this movie is not everything was spelled out for you. It left a lot up for interpretation, and it was visually stunning, and it left you thinking. There are very few movies that allow you to do that anymore. One of the recent ones that did that for me was Mother with the exclamation point. It had Jennifer Lawrence, I believe. But this movie has that in spades. You will leave this movie thinking, what in the hell was that? And then the next day you'll think, what if he meant this with this one scene, this one shot? Is that what he was trying to say? And it gives you this sense of accomplishment, or at least it gives you a sense of, okay, I am not being talked down to. I am not being told what to believe. It is being left up to me to decide what is being said and how I can tie this film to my own life, to my own experiences. And I really do appreciate that David Lynch did that. And this movie, highly recommend it if you're into that. It was my second favorite that I saw in 2019. So now that I seem like I am some kind of pretentious film snob, my number 1 favorite movie of 2019 was Mayhem. If you know nothing about this movie, it is about a disease getting out in an office building and getting locked down by the CDC, and then everybody murdering the crap out of each other. It is violent, it is gory, It is hilarious. Samara Weaving, whenever she's in anything, I will watch it. She is a wonderful actress. She is beautiful to look at as well. And Steven Yeun, he does an amazing job as well. And this is Joe Lynch. Joe Lynch he's friends with Adam Green. That doesn't help at all. He does a podcast with him. But the reason that I loved this is going to put me on some kind of list, but everybody who's worked in an office building and had a horrible, terrible, no good, very bad day has had thoughts of, I'm going to put my fist through that effing wall right now if somebody comes in and asks me for anything else. Everybody who's worked in an office has had that subconscious thought. This movie is an outlet for that. It gives justification for the characters to act on those thoughts, and it's justifiable in these cases with the amount of, I'm reluctant to call it nepotism, but you see Steven Yeun break, you see Samara Weaving break, and you understand why they have broken. But then you throw in this virus or this disease or this chemical that removes people's inhibitions and leads them to doing whatever comes to mind. It makes for a very entertaining movie, and I actually watched this with a few people in a Discord voice chat, and I believe both of them really enjoyed it as well. Eldest and Keyboard, I think it was. What an absolutely train ride, roller coaster ride of a movie. An absolute blast. And one of my all-time favorites now, Joe Lynch, you done excellent. Samara Weaving, Steven Yeun, incredible, incredible work.